been a couple days. The first coat of mud on this cathedral ceiling is finally dried. I've actually been off. I'm kind of redoing this whole house, so I've been doing mud in other rooms. Decided to only film this one because some of the rooms are small and cameras, and so we're just sticking with this one. But before we get started on the second coat, we're going to do a quick scrape down. Like I said in an earlier episode, I don't do a whole lot of sanding. Don't find any need of it. As long as you knock down the high spots, ridges, any rough spots that you've left behind, and you can do that with a 6-inch knife. We'll cut in close. I'll show you how I do that. We're going to mark some spots to address first, because we're going to have to do this second coat probably in one coat today, half a coat today, and half a coat tomorrow, because of some low spots, high spots, places I'm going to have to build up some mud a little bit. So hang tight. When we come back, we'll get in close, scrape this down, get the whole room where I'm planning on mudding today, get it scraped, and then we'll move into mudding. So hang tight. Alright, so I think we're going to start right here with this second coat. There's a low spot that I want to build up, and it's going to take quite a bit, I think. So I'm going to start here, build it up, and then probably work this whole wall all the way down from from that seam down to the floor. So we'll get going, start throwing some mud. You're not trying to get ultra fancy. I just want to build this up a little bit. So if you ever watched old Bob Ross, he always showed running a little bead of paint along the edge of his knife. Well, I kind of do the same thing. That way you can drop it right in. Try to get it right along the edge. I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. Just keep laying this in. I'm leaving some loud spots, but it's alright. Get your knife somewhat clean. Come back, drag him out. This might take a couple coats to get this built up exactly where I want it. And the trick is to hold it and get your fingers out of the way, because you want to lay the blade of that knife and the handle of that knife almost down. Flatter you can get it, the better. Keep your knife clean. Also, another little tip is periodically just go clean your knife. Take some water, clean all the dried stuff off of it. So no matter how many times you scrape it down, it's still going to end up crusty. So keep it going, keep it clean, makes it easier. Alright, pull that excess off. Now I'm just going to continue on down the whole wall. Now I'm just going to continue, let me try that again where you can see me. Now I'm going to continue down the whole wall and get this built up coat put on. All right, now we need to start establishing this corner here. As you can see, I'm gonna have a low spot, because my actual edge is here where I put this pencil line to give you guys an idea where this actual corner is gonna end up being. You would think, oh, you'd start down here on this lower end and start pouring mud down this way. But if you see, this has kind of got a low spot on it as well. Where that was a factory edge and this was a cut edge. I shouldn't have done that. I just created more work for myself. But what we're going to do is we're going to start on this edge. Gonna get that bead of mud just right on the edge of the knife. I'm gonna come up to my line, drop the back of that knife down, pull it out. And then get some more. Trying to leave a little ridge right along here. That way when I come back to mud, I can push up into it. It's kind of got something to stick to. Along this wall, it's trying to be difficult, so I'm going to take and just put a little mud on one edge and pull it out. Keep the back of that knife low. If you don't, you're just going to pull off everything that you just put on there, so you're better off just to drop the knife down, come up to your line, drop the back of that knife, and pull. And pull. And it may still need another one after this, but this will start getting, dive bomber. Just reload each knife, kind of overlap a little bit. Give you a little mess right here. If your knife's clean, you can skate over it and just pull the excess. If you don't scrape that knife back down, you're just going to make a big mess. So that's tip number 1700. It's a little harder to drop my arm down like that. Clean that knife off, get you a nice little bead, pull it across. Back of that hand down. See how I'm leaving this ridge? That's establishing my corner. And then when I come back with this one, I'll dab a little bit in there and then I'll pull it out. I'll put some, pull it out. But we'll get to that in a minute. We're still working on this, it appears. Alright, gonna have to move my ladder, of course. Alright, gets a little more funky right in here. A little deeper. Clean that knife up. Get you a nice little bead right along the edge. Lay it on your line, drop your back of your knife. You'll get some dingleberries that try to fall on you, and they will. You'll get it in your face and your hair and your clothes and your mouth. Especially if you're gabbing the whole time like I am. But do one more here, lay it in, pull it back. Lay it in, pull it back. So here's a spot where we got this piece, there's 4 or 5 pieces meeting. So we pull it here, it's laying flat. We're not touching here, and it's really low here. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna take a big knife full. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can drop in a big amount right there. Alright. Probably definitely gonna need some more still, but and then this little spot. This full iron. We're just trying to smooth it out. There we go. That don't look too bad. Now, a whole lot more to go, so hang tight. Let me get you moved so you can see it better. time to dry. Remember last time we come back and filled this in and brought this up and established, which I hope you can see is this line right here, which kind of correlates with this part. Now it's time to come back and you see that gap there. Right there is where my corner is going to be. You can see I've got about almost a ½ inch right there at this lowest spot that I need to bring in. So what I'm going to do this time around is come back in here, start here, and just pull it down this way and start to bring this up. This is the part 2 to the second coat that I was talking about before. I knew that some of these deeper areas, there's a couple down here, there's a couple other spots that I knew I was going to have to wait and come back and hit a second time for the second coat. So here we go, we're going to start filling this in. Same as before, mud's been mixed up like before. I'm going to use the same knife as before. Next coat we'll switch up to a bigger knife. Let's start somewhere right in here. Keep the handle of that knife down, and it didn't stick at all. Alright, so that means it's too deep. So we're going to come back, put this line right in the center, all the way down. Pick it up right on that edge, stick it right in that center. Then we'll go ahead and work this over a little bit. Again, just a nice little bead. Drop that handle. Drop it on your ladder so you get it on you later. You know, it's drywall. That's what happens. I think I'm going to put a little more right in there. Sleeve. Now that I've built that up a little bit, I'm going to try to rake this back off of my sleeve here. There we go. I got some of it. Alright, now that that's done, clean this knife real good. Get a small amount on the end of the knife. Now we'll try to come back, drop that down. I don't want to pull much back off. I mean, you just went like I did on that second pull. That's why you want to make sure your knife's loaded. And come over, clean your blade, load it back up. Ultimately, we're trying to get this to be the second to last coat. And that way with our third one, there might be a few heavier spots. I think on this one, because it's so thick, I'm going to come back that way. Catch that. Now I'm going to come back. Just bring it down. Bring it down. That's a really bad spot right there. That might actually, that'll take a little more on the third coat. I think I can get it to work. Switch hands instead of moving a ladder. Dab a little in there. Same thing right there. Of course, you're doing this in a somewhere with already finished floors and furniture about, you'll want to put this up. You're going to drop this stuff, it smears, it drips, it rolls off the edge of the blade. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but so you got your pan, got your knife, you load you up on a little bit. If you take and cut off that little bit that's dangling over the edges, see that there, a little bit? Just cut it off with a knife, and then when you go back to smear, all that extra is not on there anymore, and so it'll just fall out the sides, and usually right in your face. Here's another little spot that's kind of thick, so I'm gonna come back up in that way. We're trying to start establishing a corner. I'll get it pretty clean this time, but I'll really hide the bulk of it. Yep, there's the stuff I dropped on the ladder, handling it. Better than my coat sleeve, I guess. Bring that up. See, it's not near as severe down here. That right there was really where the bad spot showed up. But I think I got it pulled out. You're not pressing real hard either. That's another thing again. That'll just come with practice. That you're not going to figure out first time you sling mud on a seam. If you keep the back of the knife down, that kind of helps you not put a whole lot of pressure. All right, now here, instead of trying to drag this knife this way, I'm going to come back in this way and pull it back out. Just because I can control and make a nice corner, and then anything that moves up, down like that. All right, I think that's where we're going to stop on this. Gonna let this dry, and then when we come back, I think it'll be time for the third coat. Should be. So hang tight. Next video should be third and final coat. Then we'll do an absolute finish. Probably have to do a little bit of sanding in here. I didn't want to, but we're going to have to do a little bit. I do still have a little trick that I use with a squeegee to kind of smooth some of the harder, rougher areas out. But you'll have to come back. I'm Jarvis. This is Itsnotjunktv. I really appreciate you coming by and watching me. If you got any questions, drop them down in the comments below. And again, hit like and subscribe. That helps the channel. Thanks for stopping by.